Happy to be with you. Welcome to The Garage. I'm Jeremy Cordo. Peter Clayton's behind The Garage. It's Tuesday, and it is the... What date is it, Pete?
6th.
The 6th. Yeah. A day that's famous for one thing. The bottle opener was patented. If ever you wondered who invented the bottle opener, not that it's probably ever crossed your mind, but it was a guy called William Painter. February the 6th, and it was 1894. How the hell did they open their bottles before?
I'd like to know.
And wouldn't you think that they wouldn't have had tops on bottles before they had invented a way to get them off? That would have been sort of logical. Anyway, we'll go to the birthdays and the anniversaries much later. Tesla electric cars have just had the indignity of having to order the largest recall of cars in the history of the motor car. 2 million cars. 2 million cars. Can you get your mind around that? That's amazing. Anyway, we've lost our oldest citizen. She was 111. God bless you, my darling. Sadly, Louisa, when I used to talk with her, it was Lois, but Louisa O'Donoghue, she has died. She was the head of ATSIC. She was 91. Louisa O'Donoghue, ACOBE, part of the stolen generation. If she hadn't been stolen, I wonder where she would have been, where she would have gone. She certainly had an illustrious life. I sense bitter to the end. Good old auntie, I see, had to ask permission to report her death. This stuff amazes me. Why? We're inclusive. Aren't we all people the same? You know, you don't have to ask white people as opposed to black people, as opposed to yellow people, as opposed to pink people, permission to report their death or show a photograph. What's this strange business? I don't get any of it. But you would have gathered that by now. I don't get auntie at all. Sir Cliff Richard, with whom I have spoken for the last 50 years, has just released his latest record. Now, I've lost track of his #1 records. Even though the radio stations don't play his music, every song he brings out, and he usually does one a year, it's always #1. He's 83. And I saw the video that went with it. Pete, you should see it if you haven't seen it.
No, I haven't.
Have a look at it. I mean, he looks about 40 years old. He looks amazing. Amazing man. I love him dearly. Just a great, great talent. Changes to the Fair Work Australia legislation. Got to talk about this. In fact, if you're an employer, I'd love you to come on the program on Friday when we're live streaming and tell me what you think of it. But the Labour Party, or perhaps it's the unions, are trying to fix a problem in their mind, but really a problem that doesn't exist. I don't know whether the opposition has the chutzpah to tell them, but this is absolute madness. There will be no contact. No. It will be illegal for the boss to email or telephone an employee outside office hours. Now, I don't think there is anyone in the world who would even think of such a thing, let alone implement it. What is the problem you guys are trying to fix? Who told you there was a problem? Who said this was a problem? Of all the things you could apply yourself to, all the things you could fix, what nonsense. Employers and employees have to talk to each other at any time, preferably all the time. Then there are changes to part-time or casual employment. The unions hate part-time, casual and contract labour workers. These days, you know, only 13% of labour is unionised. 13%. They are almost irrelevant, and I can tell you they really hate that. So what to do? What to do? Well, we'll get our boys in Canberra to change the law. Now this really stinks. Everyone deserves the right to negotiate, to choose how he or she will work. If you want to be a PAYE employee, God bless you. If you want to be a contractor, God bless you. I'm gobsmacked that anyone would take this crap seriously, and that we have a government that would waste parliamentary time to change all of this stuff. Makes me mad. Pete and I were coming back from a meeting on Friday night, and we stopped off at this lovely little place. I don't know, Pete, you hadn't been there before? You had many years ago or something?
Before, yes.
Yeah, we stopped off at this lovely little place called the Rising Sun Inn on Bridge Street at Kensington. And I was talking to Grant, who has owned it for years, and I was telling him how we had just got our first sponsor, Jim Elder, the wonderful art gallery on Melbourne Street, North Adelaide. And Grant said to me, well, how do I do that? And I said, well, golly, easy. Very easy. So in the space of 3 days, I couldn't believe it. And we've been on the air for, what is it, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years or something, I don't know. We now have 2 sponsors. Fantastic. Now these are 2 wonderful South Australian institutions. I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't. The Rising Sun Inn. Now, if you are here and live in Adelaide, or you're visiting Adelaide, this is unique. Gee, I don't know. I mean, even if you went down in Sydney to the Rocks area, don't think you'd find anything like the Rising Sun. The atmosphere and the food are terrific. It is the oldest inn or roadhouse in South Australia. It's not far from the hustle and the bustle of the city, but the parking is much better, of course. It's a little gem. It's almost hidden on this tranquil, tree-lined street, Bridge Street at Kensington. The building is heritage listed, obviously, oozes old world charm. All the bricks that it's made of are handmade. A warm, inviting atmosphere. Beautiful art on the walls, open fires for winter, air conditioned for summer. All year round, a great venue for everything. Dinner, Monday through Saturday, lunch, Thursday through Sunday. I've been going there. I had to stop and think. It would be more than 30 years, probably closer to 40 years. Romantic dinners for 2, 5 different spaces available in various configurations. I mean, you just tell them what you want, what you need, and they do the rest. Functions, events, including weddings, birthdays, cocktail parties, stand-up corporate group functions, indoor, outdoor dining. I don't know what else to tell you. Food is wonderful. Hospitality is wonderful. So you can see I heartily recommend it to you. They even have live music. Pete, why don't you talk to Grant? Live music the last Sunday of the month. Every last Sunday of the month. Live music. Let me give you the number. It's 8-333-0721. 8-333-0721. 0721. Make a booking. It's a wise idea to book, believe me. The Rising Sun Inn at Kensington. It was built
1845.
1845. Now 1845 is 10 years, just 10 years after Adelaide was settled. It's a history lesson. It's absolutely exquisite. 8333-0721, our latest sponsor. And this is interesting too. I remember I was telling you about the little group of Tiwi Islanders. I think there were 5 of them, who held up and frustrated the vital Santos Timor Sea gas pipeline because of undersea sacred sites. Now the judge, a South Australian, finally kicked it all out of court. I don't know how long the case went on for, but in my humble opinion, far too long. The judge said these people made up the whole thing, which is quite disgraceful. But you could dance the court around such nonsense. Underwater sacred sites. And now to discover the lies were put together by the government and paid for by us. Do you believe that? It's true. It's shocking. The opposition, having defunded this outfit once, they pledge to do it again if they're elected. What a bloody good idea. It's called the Environmental Defenders Office. I'd not heard of it before. Now that pipeline means billions of dollars to Australia. I don't know, millions of dollars to Aboriginals, huge royalties for the government, abundant energy, a windfall. And I'll bet that little group of 5 or whatever Tiwi Islanders had nothing to do with it. They were, in my humble opinion, I believe they were being used. We paid $8 million to try and stop that pipeline. I would just love to know who the people are on the Environmental Defenders Office, what their board is, who their staff is. Are they full-blood Aboriginals? Are they white activists? Who are they? Love to know. You just better pray, guys, that the Liberals don't win the next election, because then you're out of a job. A Channel 9 news story. We were talking about this on Friday morning around the table, jeremycordeaux.com. An Islamic woman held down by her mother, and I understand her sisters, while her father savagely stabbed her repeatedly in a crowded shopping centre. And I won't say allegedly, because this man, when arrested, said she deserved it. No pretense at saying he didn't do it. The whole family apparently in total agreement. My God. You know what this girl did? You know what she did? She fell in love with somebody outside her religion, a Christian. So she must die. Publicly executed by her own father with the help of her family. These sort of people live in the Australian community. All the women dressed head to toe. Now, like the French, I think it's time to explain that there are lots of Islamic countries where all this is quite acceptable, in fact, welcomed. But not here. Please, not here. Australian values must be explained at the point of entry. Don't like it? Don't come in. This is not difficult to implement. Where is this politically correct government? People should not be slaughtered in suburban shopping centres in Adelaide, Australia. I can't wait to hear what the judge says. And finally, did you see 7:30? When was it now? I think it was last Thursday. The Western Port wetlands would be put in jeopardy by the planned offshore wind farm at the port of Hastings, canned by this Alternatives crazy government and Tanya Plibersek. You know, it's sort of counterintuitive, isn't it? You know, this government canning a wind farm, it's an interesting take on things. No comment by the ABC. The climate change mad ABC, or as I now call them, Auntie. So let's just say this journalist who had the opportunity to say this, let me say it for him. So you're scrapping the wind farms to protect the most dangerous producer of methane, which is the worst greenhouse gas in the world, produced by wetlands. The minister doesn't know this. The ABC doesn't know this. And of course they wouldn't tell us if they did. But how bizarre. We'll scrap the wind farm to protect the wetlands, which are the most dangerous producers of the worst greenhouse gas. And you'll see wetlands in every city, in every state of this country, and the environmentalists are all for them. It shows you they're on another planet. You see, they just hope, they think we are too, so they'll get away with it. Just bizarre. And just perhaps quickly, the Bureau of Statistics published the latest cost of living figures. These are the quarterly figures, which are much more reliable. Now, we're at a 2-year low, 4.1%. That's down from 5.4%, I think, the previous quarter. So we can say quite safely interest rates on hold for quite some time. Proof positive that the decisions made by the previous governor of the Reserve Bank, Philip Lowe, were absolutely right. But you won't hear anybody say that or give him any credit. But I will. The man was bullied and pilloried, and it was just totally unjust and unfair. He did a great job of bringing down inflation in the light of very difficult times. I'll just give you some dates and say goodbye because I'm going to be way over time. I mentioned the bottle opener, 1894. Oh, the first Spitfire in action above Darwin in Australia. Shot down an MUKI 46. Good work. 1943. 2014, Jay Leno ends his time on The Tonight Show. He was very good. I liked him. I think I like David Letterman better, but very, very good showman, Jay Leno. Sir Stamford Raffles found Singapore. Well, he wasn't Sir back in those days, but Stamford Raffles found Singapore as a British trading post. God, look where it is today, from a trading post to a trading hub. Wow. That was 1918. The Monopoly board game goes on sale for the first time in 1936. Joseph Priestley, the English chemist, theologian and author who discovered oxygen and carbonated water, he dies at the age of 70. The year was 1804, and this was the day. Ronald Reagan, 40th President of the United States, he was a Republican, 81 to 89, actor. People always throw up this bedtime for Bonzo thing, but he did other things. He appeared in a lot of Western movies too. I thought he was really great. Probably not the greatest actor in the world, but a fantastic president. Fantastic president. Born in Illinois, he died in 2004, born in 1911. HMS Beagle and Charles Darwin arrive in Van Diemen's Land in Tasmania on this day in 1836. Natalie Cole, the American pop vocalist, Miss You Like Crazy, born in Los Angeles, daughter of the great late Nat King Cole, born 1950, died 2015. Zsa Zsa Gabor. Pete, was she the one who said she was very good at housekeeping?
I can't remember. No.
Zsa Zsa Gabor. I'm very good at housekeeping. I always keep the house.
That sounds like her, yes.
Zsa Zsa Gabor. I always get them confused. The sisters, the Gabor sisters. Was it Green Acres? She was in one of those, you know, early sitcom things on American television. Born in Budapest. She died in 2016, still looking like $1 million. But she was born 1917, and Patrick Macnee, British actor, The Avengers, Magnum, P.I., Sherlock Holmes, born London, England, died 2015. I didn't know Patrick Macnee had died. Born in 1922, on this very day. Thank you very much for being with us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux, Peter Clayton behind the camera. We will be back tomorrow. Don't forget to join us on Friday. We will have a packed show with interesting stuff, but of course, it's never complete unless you call us. But more about that Thursday and Friday, or Wednesday and Thursday, at the dining room table on Friday. Believe in yourself. Thank you for viewing the Court of Public Opinion.